Welcome to Let's Curate's webcast series. Our fourth international jewelry exhibition, The Magic of Chaos, is now live. This year's theme focuses on makers whose aesthetics break the rules when it comes to concept and form to give birth to a new creative order. Today we're speaking to Steve Scott, founder of the jewelry brand Baroque Plus Plus. Welcome, Scott. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Yeah, I'm Steve, and I design jewelry with math. I use algorithms to simulate natural processes, and I sort of grow my designs.
Can't wait to dig deep into this further. So I know that you studied computation design and parametric architecture, and on the surface, these fields somehow do not seem to have a connection with jewelry design, but I'm sure it ties it all in a fascinating way. Can you take us through your journey?
Sure, yeah. In 2001, I did my undergrad in city planning and urban design, and then in 2008, I went to Penn Design. I think they have a new name for it now, at University of Pennsylvania to study urban design, and I really got into the studios and drawing and graphic design and 3D modeling. And I came across something called agent-based modeling. And so I really got into it, and I was like, I want to further my design career by applying agent-based modeling to architecture. So I went to Pratt Institute and studied architecture, and I got deeper into computational design using Grasshopper and Maya, and getting deep into it. But the problem is that I came in with these preconceived notions of what I wanted to study using agent-based modeling, and they had their own styles that they wanted me to follow. And so we kind of butted heads. And after 3 semesters, I failed out of Pratt Institute. And so here I am. I don't have an architecture degree. I can't build buildings. So what can I design? Well, I was dabbling in jewelry, and jewelry uses Rhino. So I started. I made a portfolio of jewelry, and I went to Jewelers Row in Philadelphia and knocked on doors, and I got a job as a jewelry designer in Philadelphia. And when I was there, I learned all about how to make jewelry. Started with the waxes and learned casting and polishing and stone setting. And my job was a CAD artist, so I was learning about prongs and tolerances and 3D printing. And that's where I designed my first algorithmic design jewelry, which was my wife's engagement ring. And I was really into it. But I wasn't as good of a CAD artist as the other CAD artists, but I was really good with technology. So they were like, hey, why don't you build a website for us? And so I built this website, and it was really great, and they were really happy with it. I was like, maybe instead of doing jewelry design, maybe I should be a computer scientist. So I guess that was 2015, I went to New Jersey Institute of Technology to study computer science, and I learned algorithms and data structures. Now my day job is a professional software developer. So I formed Baroque Plus Plus to be like a combination of like computational design I learned from architecture, jewelry design I learned at Rubertones, and computation and computer programming, which I learned at NJIT, and I combined them all to make algorithmic jewelry.
That is incredible. It just goes to show how skills can be applied across various fields, and it's amazing how you have used the foundation of a field that somehow just does not align with traditional jewelry design, and you've come up with your own unique perspective as a result of that. What is the story behind your brand name, Baroque Plus Plus?
So Baroque Plus Plus combines Baroque and Plus Plus. So Baroque, I really love the Baroque and Rococo art styles. They're very organic, with leaves and vines, and they're not minimal, they're maximal. They have maximum detail, from the small scale to the large scale, lots of ornament, and they're I'm inspired by the music of Bach and the self-similarity of the patterns. And so the plus plus comes from C++. You have the C computer language, and then you have the plus plus is like the C language, but just a little extra. and that's sort of what my Baroque Plus Plus is like, this Baroque design with a little bit of a technological twist. And my work is it's ornate. It's has intricate details. It has fractal self-similarity, and I use natural processes to make it so it's wild, chaotic, random, asymmetric. That's sort of my what it looks like, and that's my aesthetic.
That's incredible. So the plus plus is actually sort of enhancing the ordinary and making it extraordinary, which I love. I
Exactly.
mean, it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful marriage of a creative thought plus, your own touch to make it extra special. Clearly mathematical scenarios play a really big role in your artistic process. How do you go from coming up with an idea to sort of designing and bringing it to, the finish line? Can you shed some light on it?
Right. So, I have a sketchbook and I draw. I draw these diagrams by hand of what I want to do and where I want to go, and then I try to find a natural process to and write the algorithm to make this pattern. So, a lot of it what I use is agent-based modeling, which is a tree like Lindenmeyer. They're called Lindenmeyer systems. They're basically trees.
Mhm.
Sometimes I make snowflakes, which are another type of tree. I use cellular automata, which is kind of like the game of life. I simulate embryo development, of capillaries forming together. I use orbits of planets and satellites, whirlpools and hurricanes. So I use these natural phenomena to inspire my jewelry.
So, I mean, I can't wait to see the pieces you're presenting
Sure.
at our exhibition. Can you show us and talk us through, the way it all came about?
Sure, sure. So I keep on talking about agent-based modeling, and um, these are the six-pointed earrings, and these really represent the style, my signature style. So it's self-similar. There's three layers of self-similarity, and it goes in and it branches six times each time. And so these earrings are sort of fractal, and they're like kind of like an organic snowflake. And so agent-based modeling, I use a program called NetLogo. And what NetLogo, to understand NetLogo, you have to recurse a little bit back. So NetLogo is based off of the Logo computer language. And I learned Logo as a child. And Logo is used to control turtles. And what's a turtle? So back in the 70s, they had these little robots called turtles. And the robot had a pin on it, and you tell the robot, go forward 5 feet, put the pin down, left turn 45 degrees, go forward 1 foot, right turn 5 degrees. And so you can control this robot to plot, okay? And so these turtles in NetLogo are called agents, okay? And so in NetLogo, you can tell this turtle to move around, but you can also, but it's in 3 dimensions. Okay, so it's like an airplane. You can tell it to go up and turn and pitch and roll, and you can make these intricate designs. But most importantly, you can tell it to branch. So it splits off into a tree, forming a Lindenmeyer system. And so that's how you get those earrings. Here's another agent-based model. This is called the spiral pendant. And this is sterling silver, rhodium plated, and the spiral pendant uses a math algorithm called exponential backoff to control the spacing. And again, these are agents, curling out. And so this is the spiral pendant. And there's another one. I'm really proud of this one. This is called the confluence necklace. And the confluence necklace is modeled after the embryo growth of a capillary. And so what you have is you have these two random trees that branch out, and these two trees come together in the middle, and the branches of the trees find each other and they move towards each other, forming this capillary structure. And yeah, I really like that. I spent a lot of time developing that algorithm. And we have some other pieces. This is a different algorithm. This is called Voronoi. And this is the symbiote bracelet. It is bronze and it's hollow. It's still pretty sturdy. Cuff bracelet. And this is formed using Voronoi graph. So the way Voronoi works is like, let's say you have 2 points, okay? You can draw a line equidistant between the 2 points, okay? Now let's say there's 3 points. Well, you can draw lines between the 3 points, and that's called the Voronoi graph. And now imagine you have hundreds of points, and you're drawing lines between these hundreds of points. And that's how you get the Voronoi pattern. And these are random points. I chose to make them random. And there's other designs I have where you control the points. You can make it more dense in some areas and less dense in others. And that was a 3-dimensional Voronoi. This is a 2-dimensional Voronoi. This is the parallax bracelet, sterling silver. It features 2 small rubies that sort of form eyes. It's very delicate, but it's a little dainty, and it's good for fine occasions. It also uses Voronoi. And then the last piece I have uses a different algorithm. It's called cellular automata. And it's the Sierpinski Star of David. And it started out in cellular automata. There's this naturally occurring pattern called the Sierpinski triangle. And you can see these little triangles with self-similar holes in them. I was like, how can I turn the Sierpinski triangle into a 3-dimensional object? So I started building these pyramids. And then I was like, how do these pyramids go together? So it ended up that the Star of David is the perfect shape for equilateral pyramids. And, you don't have to, this didn't start out being explicitly Jewish. You don't have to be Jewish to enjoy fractals. But my Jewish friends do enjoy this pendant, and, they like the mathematical beauty of it, especially my secular Jewish friends. They love the math aspect of it, kind of like divine math. So, yeah.
What a phenomenal collection, Steve. I was trying, as you were explaining, every piece that you showed, it seemed better than the previous one, but then the previous one was just so spectacular. It's really hard to pick one if I was in that position. It's incredible. And this is what I think of when I think of the word statement piece. It's special. When it's literally wearable art, which is, exactly the sort of thing we want to showcase on our platform, because designers like you are few and far in between, where you come up with, this is so unique. I'm sure if after this interview, if you designed a piece and someone didn't see you but knows of your process, would know it's a Steve Scott piece. And that's what makes it so special. And I'm so honored to have the opportunity to present your work at our exhibition. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks a lot.
So, Magic of Chaos, I just want to tell our viewers and listeners that our exhibition of Magic of Chaos will go on until December 24th. And we encourage you to all enjoy and purchase these one-of-a-kind masterpieces. For more updates, follow us on Instagram at let's_curate, and happy curating, everyone.